But we were that, and we had that once. Our last day of normal fell in the winter of 2008. It was December, and we were in Greenwich, Connecticut, where we spent every Tuesday night with Mark's 2 children from his first marriage. It seems like I should be able to remember what we talked about that night, what news the kids had about their classmates, or their tennis lessons or swim meets, the table manners we corrected, or the sibling quarrels we quashed. But these banalities of everyday life aren't anything you think to preserve, much less cherish. Why bother? It was just another Tuesday. The next morning, December 10th, we drove the kids to school before heading back to Manhattan. Mark rolled down his window as usual to heckle his 13-year-old daughter as she joined a clutch of friends heading to class. "Hey, Kate, learn a lot," he shouted, laughing when she shot him the mortified look he had hoped for. Mark worshipped Kate and her 16-year-old brother Daniel with devotion I alternately found endearing and maddening. His kids came first no matter what. As a parent, I understood that part of the equation perfectly. But Mark also had a chronic case of divorced daddy syndrome, missing his son and daughter so much that he often overcompensated by trying to anticipate every possible need and kowtow to every whim. When we were all together, any restaurant we ate at or movie we saw was the children's choice to make. Mark craved their company, but now that they were teenagers, Kate and Daniel both had busy social lives of their own to manage. And that didn't always include blocking out Tuesday nights or every other weekend for their father. It didn't matter. Even if he knew he wouldn't see them, Mark insisted that we make the hour-long trip just so they would know he was there. Try as I did to be a good sport and a good stepmother, I have to admit that being a second wife grated on me at times, and my insecurities about my own place in the pecking order of Mark's close-knit family were the biggest bone of contention between the two of us. It wasn't just my imagination, though. I was often overshadowed by Mark's failed first marriage, so much so that his mother routinely called me Susan instead of Stephanie, even though I had come along 3 years after his bitter divorce. It rankled me that Kate and Daniel's mother remained, by extension, so deeply entwined in our lives. "It's part of the mix," Mark would shrug, anxious to keep the peace. I tried to suck it up and was successful more often than not, but I never really perfected the art. Despite the challenges of a blended family, our marriage had found its sweet spot, and that December, I was 7 months pregnant with our second child, a little brother for our daughter Audrey, who had just turned 2. A very active little brother if the kickboxing sessions in utero were any indication. We debated names that morning on our drive back to the city. Nicholas or Joe? We were still torn. Audrey was in her car seat, blissing out over a strawberry frosted donut with rainbow sprinkles. In the cargo hold, our shamefully spoiled Labradoodle Grouper dozed in the dog bed I had bought especially for road trips. The lack of squirrels to chase in Soho always put Grouper in a sulk on the way home. As usual, I claimed control of the radio dial for the commute, quickly nixing Mark's soft rock preferences for a top 40s mix. Taste in music was one of the rare differences that underscored our 10-year age gap, and I refused to be the enabler of someone who wanted to linger forever at some 1980s high school prom. I teased Mark about it mercilessly, but he held fast to his romanticism, and truth be told, it was pretty charming. He always knew how to make me laugh. Once, after I had won yet again in our power struggle over who got to be DJ, Mark fired off an email to my iPhone, minutes after dropping me off somewhere. I opened it to find a picture of the car's radio console, triumphantly displaying the call numbers of Mark's favorite XM station, The Heart, which played nothing but lovesick ballads. Had it been left to Mark, we might have ended up with Barry Manilow's Can't Smile Without You as our wedding song. If easy listening was Mark's cheesy weakness, then Christmas was mine. I'm a sucker for every sentimental movie, nostalgic decoration, and Rockwellian moment the holiday season has to offer. Knit reindeer hats can be found in my closet, and I actually wear them. As a child growing up in New York, some of my fondest memories are of Christmas time, when December turned the grimy city into a big enchanted snow globe. You could be walking down Fifth Avenue and come across a Juilliard quartet playing O Come All Ye Faithful on a street corner, and the taxi honking, bus wheezing, brake screeching cacophony of the evening rush hour would suddenly hold